A very good evening, Team Zimbabwe. I'm very sorry. I tried to come live in the evening, but I failed because of network challenges and network problems. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to do this live stream. We are supposed to actually give you the update about what President Nelson Chamisa said. So my network was playing up, my network was not okay. But I'm hoping that right now I'm connected. So let us get straight to the address. As you can see right on the screen here, this is the address of President Nelson Chamisa.
Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to just thank and appreciate Mahere, our spokesperson of the business movement. Let me take this opportunity also to thank you, members of the press, for coming to this very important press conference. I've not had press conferences for a long time, but I thought that I needed to have this press conference because such an important one. Just to brief you my recent observations across the whole country. And I'll say, fellow Zimbabweans, as I come to you, I'm coming to you under extreme circumstances of events and a crisis in our country. Just this week, I arrived from Gokwe. In fact, I around in the AM of this week. I arrived because I normally want to travel at night. What I saw in Gokwe, particularly in Gokwe, is a very disturbing trend in the country. But it's not an isolated. This is what I've also seen in Mashonaland East, which is basically our strong. I saw because of what I saw in Zumba, what I saw in Toko, what I saw in Wedza, and in Sek. But in Mutoko, that today they are beating drums and songs, chanting slogans, saying that Chamisa is not acceptable in this zone there, as they say. Unfortunately, they didn't know that I've already been Toko, Makaha, and I've seen and heard stories and the cries of people in Makaha who are saying that all their gold is gone, all their resources gone. Their traditional has been taken away. And what they are not getting from government is support, security, and assurance that their concerns are being taken on board. I want to thank the people of Mashonaland East, in particular, Uzumba, Kamba, and Fungwe, Ewa, Joko, for being very strong, for remaining steadfast, and for supporting the citizen movement, and for supporting the alternative. Under very difficult circumstances, against all odds, they continue to support. There is unprecedented violence. Terror has become a daily dose, and also war zones. People in those communities are not allowed to freely associate, assemble, or even move. What is that wherever I go, there is always a counter program by ZANU-PF, exactly at the venue where we'll be holding our meetings. Just yesterday in Gokwe, I was shocked that Laimo, Mackenzie, Larry Mafima were literally coordinating an alternative in the program, not elsewhere, but where we're holding our meeting. And thus they imposed themselves on the police, making the lives of police officers very difficult, because they then poison it politics. Instead of the police doing their duties, they are now being accused of belonging to one or the other. Very unfortunate. That has been the case ever. You know, when I went to Masho for the first time in my rural arts program, and by the way, going into the countryside, listen to the people, hear their grievances and their cries. but also to share with our next steps. A lot of people have been saying, what is the next stage? What is the next stage? Very clear about what we're doing. This is why we've been engaging business people, the church leaders. We've been engaging. Of course, unlike brother who is going doing fair in all the churches, I don't do that. I go to the bishops, the leadership of the church, engage them respectfully. I will never go to any church congregation and sing or chant slogans. That's blasphemous. You are poisoning holy places. And my brother has been doing this with a lot of work in this regard, because he probably does not know that being a state house is not being in heaven. It must be understood that change must continue to undiluted as place of worship and not to be conducted by partisan political issues. So I've said we've seen this whole thing of roadblocks. In Uzumba, there were roadblocks there. Just yesterday, he did a funny thing in you know, they chased after our convoy. We had to find ways of blocking them through our security teams. They had guns, AK-47s, and of course they almost spent one vehicle. But I understand that you was also part of that delegation. It shocks me that we have government ministers who are behaving like liberals. I don't understand. They literally incite violence, violence, coordinate violence, which is unfortunate. Unfortunate. What we would want is to insist on peace. As I indicated, rural areas have become centers of mass victimization, intimidation, and terror against citizens, particularly those who are in the country. I've seen that our chiefs are in trouble, villages are in trouble. They are being subjected to incessant harassment, 24-hour surveillance. Food from government, support from government is weaponized. Hate has become commonplace in the rural area. Violence has also become a big issue. But what I also hate, which is very disturbing, is that those who have always been violent are also dying mysterious deaths, particularly in Uzum. I was told that all those Zambian people who were very instrumental in 2018 the violence in Bishop, they've all died in their circumstances. It's not something to celebrate. And unfortunately, we don't want those kinds of things. That is what is happening. As I said, is weaponized. The human rights situation in the country has gotten to another level. What is clear is that the subject of the matter is human rights. You go to the villages, people do have access to basic services on account of that they are alleged to belong. I also got the information issuance of party identity is being done by party leadership, ZANU-PF leadership in the various areas. Why is this being done? Because they want to do regimented voting, and voting. That has become a big issue. And this is what Mr. Mhadi has been going around the country, addressing crossheads and villages. In Kabuna alone, we have about 1,908 villages. The country over 35,000. And Mr. Mohadi has been addressing all of them. He's not addressing them to encourage them, to empower them. He's addressing them to intimidate them and to threaten them that they should not allow Triple C activities or there's a movement to do things. They've localized violence, they've localized things, and to make sure they also stop. I was told just this morning that, like I said, in Toko, they were saying, oh, Chamisa will not come with here, not allow him. I want to say this to Zanu. I'll go anywhere and everywhere. You will not stop. You are not the owner of this land. Zimbabwe belongs to Zimbabwe. Mr. Mnangagwa, accept fair conditions. Don't resort to your tactics that you used before. They will not work on you. I can tell you, I'm ready. I'm ready for peace. I'm ready to fight, finish, peaceful, legal, and constitutional. I know that they're using unconstitutional means, under ethics, and they've been abusing the courts. But I can tell you, victory for the citizens. And we're determined, people are determined no darkness lasts forever. All darkness is but for a season. Just a few months ago, past 6 months, it's shocking to see that we've had over 8 arrests, mainly opposition leaders, including the senior 16. Just yesterday alone in Gokwe, 13 people were badly injured. I saw all of them. Some were bent. Literally by fire. Torture in broad daylight. Why? Because they are putting on a yellow t-shirt. What they don't know is that I've been telling people that, look, if they want to kill you for t-shirt, don't worry about the t-shirt. Let's go Operation Mango. Yellow inside, green outside. Why? To preserve yourselves. Bizanu in their slogans. Bizanu wherever you are going, but show and maintain your integrity to support the change that you believe. We've seen that there is a deliberate deployment of state institutions, processes by the ruling party, which points to a desperate attempt. They are very desperate. What is clear is that from what we are seeing, ZANU-PF is cornered on its way out. They have nothing to offer other than violence. The people are seeing through their gimmicks and their lies and propaganda. No one should be persecuted, threatened, or attacked for wanting a better Zimbabwe. The violence that has been reported is completely a declaration against the citizens. History tells us that citizens always come first and come out best. And they'll all win, and we shall. We want to urge our police officers and security agents to continue to do their legal and lawful duty to protect the citizens, defend the law, and protect the country, as guaranteed by the Constitution. As a citizen movement, I must emphasize, we are against all violence, threats, coercion, and as a government in waiting, we are patriotic, ready, as peace champions, focusing on the bread and butter issues, the answers that are going to bring solutions to the people of Zimbabwe, as we inspire people to work for change. Where there's discord, we continue to hammer. And where there's error, we bring correction. Where there's doubt, we bring faith. Where rottenness, we are bring freshness and change. And where there's despair, we bring hope. We will not be drawn into very deliberate attempts to invite us into violence. We've seen the temptation, we've seen the machinations of ZANU-PF. They want us to descend into violence so that they can then justify state of emergency, justify then their tomfoolery, justify their macho tactics, and their violence. But we will not allow that violence. Remain peaceful, will remain maintaining peace. A lot of people have been saying, Mr. Chamisa, we can't be beaten, with our hands tied behind our back. I say, peace is forever. Peace comes first. Our high road is a high road to democracy. Mr. Tsvangirai always said, I will never walk dead bodies to state house. I'll repeat the same statement. Because I know that our road and journey to state house is assured. So why would we miss a single life on account of quality? That will not happen. Let me also comment on the issue of the economy and growth. We note that the economy continues to fail many Zimbabweans, but this is due to spectacular mismanagement and endemic corruption. If you look at what I have stated before, the economy is failing on account of bad leadership and bad governance. Look at how Zimbabweans are treated in the neighboring countries. Like people without identity, without a heritage, without an land. But each year the country is 3 billion, both illicit flows and plunder of money through corruption taking place in state-owned institutions by the admission of state organs themselves. Ironically, in gold alone, the country is lost about 100 million every time which amounts to our monthly requirements for medical drugs in our hospitals. 1.8 billion that is lost for illicit financial flows is enough to pay a salary bill of the entire civil service, paying them $500 per month. Currently, the price basket is about 40,000. If you look at what the civil service are getting, they're getting peanuts. They can't miss meat. That is the same way with all our people who are in various professions across the various sectors. Having said this, one would say, but what would you say on the electoral environment in the country? Let me just say that in terms of our elections in the country, what is clear that ZANU-PF is now engaged in a systematic attempt to try and reverse their defeat, which is inevitable in 2023. They are trying to manipulate electoral processes and outcomes, make the constitutional and electoral process with their own people. I will not allow them. The fight that we are going to undertake, what we need to see is the entrenchment of the SADC AU protocols, the values and principles of elections that are supposed to be embarked on. And I repeat, what they are doing is illegal and constitutional in terms of all the statutes within the country, in the region, and on the fee that they've charged are unacceptable. They want to make democracy a commodity, commodify elections, bring elections outside and at the reach of many people. The appointment of commissioners has to be a matter. It takes two to tango. They can't tango, and we allow them to tango. What we're going to do about it, we've already instituted a number of things. Engagement is one of them. But also locally, we engage all the key stakeholders to make sure that there's a collective voice around this matter. There's going to be a free and fair election in 2023. And we'll have to make sure that that election becomes a possibility. If there's no free and fair election in Zimbabwe, what it tells you is that problems in our country will never end. And I was telling leaders within that the immigration crisis, as it is called, the Southern African community, is not an immigrant crisis. It is indeed a happiness crisis in Zimbabwe. People are running out of this country on account of a deficit of good governance, the economic circumstances that they find themselves in. And we don't resolve those, we'll be able to move forward. So I've given a couple of suggestions to our colleagues in South Africa to also give a moment and an opportunity to the people of Zimbabwe so that they some kind of a space for them is fix our own situation in this country. We can't call Zimbabweans criminal because certain individuals in South Africa who are Zimbabwean have been criminal. You don't let them condemn the entire country on account of a few individuals who may have, unfortunately, because of their own circumstances, done something that is criminal. Let me conclude by saying, victory is. I've seen Mr. Mnangagwa today. He was internally central. The people at the church or later church were singing about Chamisa this, Chamisa this, Chamisa that. I will thank Mr. Mnangagwa for being my big campaign manager. He's doing a fantastic job. You know, the unfortunate thing is that he has taken his campaign to places that he's not supposed to change. I don't mind what the devil says about me. I'll be worried if the devil says something good about me. And I have stated, State House is not a we can't fight for power just for the sake of power. We are not fighting for power, we're fighting for change. We are fighting for values, we are fighting for a life. We are fighting for dignity and peace, not just for citizens in the Triple City, but also for ZANU people. Our fight, not a partisan fight, it is a national fight. We need a new consensus as a people. Beyond the liberation consensus, we need to come together in the transformational consensus. Work together and transform our options as a people, as a country. And that's why we have said we've done our war veterans. being abused. They are being used as an extension of a political party, not an extension of any party. They can't be a wing of the political party. They belong to Zimbabwe. They are custodians, guardians, and defenders as well as towards of our ideals as a liberation nation. It's like the chiefs, custodians of our culture, tradition, and heritage. Don't abuse into politics. Having said, I'm so excited at what I'm seeing in the countryside. People are so determined. They are saying victory. They are saying we are going to win by a big margin and we'll win big. And I see 2023 as an opportunity for people to come together, unite, and win big. Some are saying it doesn't make a sense, for us to go and participate in voting. Let me tell you this. Don't discourage you from participating in voting. Know the power of your vote. This is why they discourage you. This is why they say even if you vote, we will read, it will not change things. I think this way you know that the vote counts, vote matters. That is why they discourage you, disempower you. You are the masters, you are the servants. Politicians will not be the ones who work the body or the dog. We are the tail that should work by the citizens. So please, citizens, take charge. Citizens, register to vote. Young people, this is your time. This is your nation. Make it. If you don't, you break it. Thank you very much.
We thank our Change Chairman Chief very much. Without further ado, we're going to take a few questions. As usual, may you please identify yourself, give us your name, the news house you're coming from, and ask one question that we can cover as many new practitioners as possible. Thank you. Just lift your hands.
Okay, well, I can go ahead. Okay, Mr. Chamisa, I'm here with ANC. Yesterday, there are several artists who were injured going back to the court, who were injured. How is the safe as we are getting to that election?
I wish I could say they're safe, but unfortunately, not the perpetrator in this case. I think the assurances must come from here, particularly from Mnangagwa. You know that I'm also equally a victim. I've been a victim of assassination attempts in retired. I've been a victim of attacks on my team and our convoy. The citizens have been victims. You know that everywhere I go, I'm getting beaten up. There's a reason why they are doing that. They are scared of freedom of information. So journalists are endangered species in Zimbabwe on account of your ability to tell truth to power, on account of your ability to share information what is happening. That's why journalists are so pained. So 3 journalists by the side, because they've been beaten up. I'm really pained. One of them was ill. I think he lost about 2 teeth. It tells that it's so sad. The reason why they were beaten, they were taking pictures. But they were actually coming both because ZANU-PF had come all their rallies right close to us. What was so was that ZANU-PF's rally about 100 and 150 people. The Triple C rally was about 5,000 people. And I loved it because it was actually an election. Any other is from Gokwe Kabila that does not produce an electoral victory by citizens. And the Triple C is a manipulation of the will of the people. I can tell you, I've seen it, I've listened to business, key opinion leaders, they believe in change and support in change. Yes, I hear you, what you are saying. I totally empathize with those journalists and with you because you are endangered species. There's no guarantee, it's not just journalists. Every citizen is under attack. Changes are under attack if they don't agree with the incumbent. Young people are under attack. Students are under attack. Civil society is under attack. Look at Masara, how he has been persecuted. The leader of the Rural Teachers Union. There is just attack. Journalists are under attack. Everyone is under attack. Political leaders are under attack. Look at Job Scala and the other 15, still included, our enemies. They're in custody. On what account? They're just alleged. An allegation is not a conviction. They have a right to bail. Scala has not committed any offense. Still, didn't commit any offense. In fact, the majority of those people in Yansimi haven't committed any offense. They are actually victims who have now been taken perpetrators, and they are now down. Almost 73 days, okay, in detention without trial was not even like this during. What we are seeing is worse than what we think in this country, even during the regime. So I'm extremely concerned about this. I tried to reach out to Mnangagwa to say you can't behave like this, playing square, and then we beat you fair and square. If you beat us, we will celebrate you. But if you play like this, we remain peaceful, but we will not give you the victory, and we will tie you in an attempt to manipulate the people of Zimbabwe. So yes, I can't guarantee the safety of journalists as they do their job. But at our meetings, yes, we try. We always provide safety. But I can tell you that the system in the country is very depressing, and we're worried. They are all being treated like banned people. Yet people see is legislating and making laws in Parliament. We are even giving Mr. Mnangagwa water. The water he's drinking is catered of the leaders who are in our local authorities. But alas, they treat us like a terrorist organization. They're asking for our structure. Why do you want our structure? Don't ask for yours. Why are you so generous to want us to be so structured so that we defeat you? We want to defeat you structure. Without any structure, we will defeat you. Our structure is known by ourselves, and we will not be commanded into doing what you want us to. We are a citizen movement. We take all resources. Thank you.
My name is Raymond from You've spoken about people engaged speaking to subject. Is that an avenue that is likely to result, or we make it again after that and we will address as favor against that engaging?
Welcome to come back again after another rally, but I can tell you that we are doing a lot of. We leave no stone unturned, and SADC is one of the stones that is left to turn, just like the AU. So we'll make sure that we do everything within our power to give Zimbabwe a fighting chance for them to express themselves. We have to make sure that we exercise all the available options for us to have peace in this country. Peace is very expensive, and we have taken the peace high because we want this country to maintain and to be in peace. ZANU-PF love it. Their DNA is violent. They don't believe in independence. ZANU-PF people don't believe in. They don't believe in peace. They don't believe in the sovereignty of the people. That's why they commandeer people. When one man, one vote is not about one book and one vote for the village. No. The commandeer and the village heads are telling us that we are in trouble. We don't know how to live. We have been threatened. We have been these things that if we don't cross the line, we are in trouble. That's stop, and that is what we are fighting. Yes, is that right? You can be assured that it will yield results. And watch the space. We are doing a lot of work to make sure that the elections themselves are a reflection of what the people and what we see.
Excellent.
Freelance with the news is my name. So you said that in the way of Morgan Changirai, you won't write on dead body status.
Sure.
On the paper, there's an opinion is categorically that the only thing to remove him from power is a military move that we used also to assume power. That regard, can we say that it's technically not accepting defeat that you won't claim the win next year because PF will say they'll beat away military.
Claiming the win does not mean killing people. Claiming the win does not mean walking dead bodies. Claiming win does not even mean some of the things that I hear people talking about. You know, we know what we are doing, and you will see that is going to work. We are clear about the route that we're taking. But trust the process, trust the vision, trust the leadership. If you doubt our leadership, you always judge us at the appropriate time. Don't force us or harass into things. Don't harass us when we give you proper direction or when we take steps. We know much more about what's happening across the other side. And we know how the other side is so desperate to capitalize on our weakness to then count on violence. So we will not countenance violence. Violence is not part of our DNA. Peace is our language. Peace is our nature. And peace is our foot forward for Zimbabwe. And we have to claim our victory. My words. In the past, we would win elections, but not transfer power. Now we are focusing on not just transferring power. Already, inauguration plan is in place. We are ready about what we are doing. Nobody has the monopoly of state institutions. And also, nobody has the monopoly of being foolishness and reckless. We can make sure that we prioritize monopoly. And by the way, it's not a threat, it's a problem.
Are there any other questions?
I love it. Thank you very much. I can see that we're okay. I see one last.
If I can say, yes. It's to do with electoral reforms. You mentioned about the fees that were gazetted by and we hear is talk, there hasn't been any action. The line I remember in the previous campaign talking of having electoral reforms in place before you go to an election. But we are less than a year away. What reforms have you instituted or concrete plans are there to make sure that we actually have the electoral reforms before we go for next elections?
Of course, you know that there are times when in strategy you don't expose too much of substance, maybe just the form, because of the nature of our playing field. But I can tell you that we have identified several critical issues that we say are the issues we want to make sure that they are dealt with. And we are on the table. But Mr. Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, let us agree on the nature of the pitch and the stadium we are going to play on. The playing field must be what we agree on. If you then do not want to agree, we'll find ways of making you see the logic and agree with us. 7 critical issues. Right to vote is fundamental. We want every Zimbabwean above the age of 18 must be easy to register to vote. Right now, they've been suppressing the voting, registration of voting in urban areas or areas that they perceive to be triple stronghold. Unfortunately, rural areas are our strong. And that's why they've been using party structures and using heads and villages to go and register for voting. And I can tell you that we are every as a citizen movement. So the right is critical, including the diaspora. I saw in Angola recently for the first time, Angolans diaspora voted. In Kenya, diaspora vote was there. We want a diaspora vote in this country because it is part of the SADC protocols. It is part of even our constitution, the right to vote. There can't be taxation without representation. Yet, we gain of money from the diaspora. What a fantastic job, and I want to thank those diaspora for the wonderful job they're doing at the family level, in various communities, and even nationally. They continue to pivot our country forward. We want them, but they have to be given the right vote. You can't get their money when you're also not giving them their right. They have to have their rights. Issue of real-time announcement of votes. We don't want this particular verification business. Votes must be on a public domain, real time, and announced so that we all know. That's why in Kenya right now, of course, they're but at least people know outcome because it was being posted on a public domain. Even the had a quite access and access into this. That is what we are pushing. Number 3, we want to make sure the voters' roll is audited and auditable in terms of the constitution. Let there be an audit firm on the voters' roll so that we are happy that the voters roll is clean and credible. As it is like that, we know that the syllabus is what we are agreeing on. That is what we want to see, because the security of the vote is critical in the areas, and the security of the vote in terms of making sure that papers, when they are printed, we know them, and we have identified all this. The issue of the media, the security of justice, is also one critical issue, but also the ability. I don't want on ZBC, I have other platforms, but it's my right as a citizen to also share on a marketplace of ideas, my ideas. They always speak on my behalf. Why don't you give me opportunity? If you want, I'm inviting Mr. Mnangagwa on a live television debate. I know that he will campaign thereafter because I must reduce him to this intellectual and even on ideas. Because I have a clear and solid plan, a new great Zimbabwe plan for Zimbabwe, which is going to develop our country. Now they're celebrating opening of supermarkets, opening of service stations, and making a narrow lane to Masvingo. They say we've done very well. That's not infrastructure. You want to claim the plan that was built by Mugabe? That's not infrastructure. Please don't go and claim other people's plan and then claim you have a big family. Start your own. We want to see what we're able to do. We have not shown anything. You have squandered your time, and let's give ED a chance. There's not. He has squandered the opportunity. They say, no, it's good business. Business is in tatters. No guys with business. I told business that we are best deal for business because we provide that conducive environment for them to do business. And we will not have politicians putting their fingers in the pie of business. And it's on our forefront and ourselves. I hope effort you are answerable in terms of our reforms, but in terms of what is done, I told you that we have a lot of measures that we are implementing to make sure that the elections are done. It's not about ZANU-PF, it's about all of it, because elections do not belong to a political party, they belong to the citizens of Zimbabwe.
May I follow up if I'm allowed?
Please do.
Do you think then we have enough time of all the things that you've mentioned?
It's an overnight affair. It's an overnight affair. Where there's will, there's a way.
Right, Team Zimbabwe, I have lost connection, but I think we just left out a few seconds, around 35 seconds from the actual broadcast. So thank you very much for coming, guys. And I hope you have heard President Chamisa addressing and articulating various issues regarding the 2023 election, the political situation in Zimbabwe. Don't worry about wearing yellow. Don't worry about showing that you are a CCC member. Let it be in your heart. This is the reason why we are embarking on family campaigns, where you are talking to the people who you trust. You are talking to the people who are very close to you, and that is what is very important at this moment, so that you don't get killed, you don't get maimed by ZANU-PF people. So Team Zimbabwe, this is it. I've tried my best. Do not worry. nobody's going to stop what we really desire as a people. So let us continue to fight for change. Let us continue to stand in solidarity with each other. That is what is very, very important at this moment. So I love you all. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for your support. Your subscriptions are very important on this platform. So this is it, Team Zimbabwe. Let us end it here and let us meet in other episodes and other programs.